Hello, you're with Destination Uri. It is the morning program. I am Rowan Hand.
Excuse me. I have a delivery to make.
A delivery? Sorry about this. You're a delivery.
A delivery.
I've seen
is
you
that okay?
somewhere
I'm
before.
sorry to interrupt
no,
you.
You're fine. But
is it the green screen? Are you on, or
no.
is it?
Please sit down if you're
I'm
going to
sorry.
be.
Is
I
this
recognize you
live to
from
air?
somewhere. Yes, it is. Yeah, you're
Oh
all
my
over the
gosh!
world
You
at this
can't.
moment.
You can't edit this.
No, this is you're live.
Rowan.
What is this?
My
please?
hair. I'm.
Wow! I tell you, what is this here? This is your. What? Why are you here
This is
with
the
this?
delivery.
Delivery. We are now in the delivery suite, and we're stood by for the announcement. Let's see. Wow, the linen handkerchief memorial. I know, you're Lycia Trouton, the artist from Canada.
You didn't recognize me because of my hair. My
I know
hat.
that. You're in disguise this morning, but in disguise because you're going to Stormont on Monday,
Okay.
after the weekend.
Are you saying you have to go in disguise to Stormont?
No, I think because you...
I mean, I know you have to pass
Everyone-
through security. but
Everyone in Stormont is in some kind of disguise.
That's an interesting comment.
The disguise of their tribal war paint. They're there, and they believe they're in some kind of reconciliation program.
Are
But
you
they
being-
make a very bad job of it.
Are you being slightly cynical?
Not really. I know these people. What's in the box? Oh, this is your linen memorial.
Rowan, you have to respect where I'm going.
I do. I live in hope that they will become human beings and intelligent politicians.
Okay.
But I'm great. I do have a regard for some of them.
What do you think of the bus coming from Newry? 9 a.m. at the fire station.
The fire station,
You have to have a
9 o'clock
ticket.
in the morning, you have your ticket, you get on the bus, 9 o'clock at the fire station. The bus will take you all the way to Stormont through the hallowed portals of our emporium of political endeavour. How was that?
That was very good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Good.
people have got their tickets, and the event is closed now. But
Yeah.
here I am. The ladies have helped me from, as you know, my cross-community churches, which I almost attend every other Sunday.
I can see there's a shimmer coming to you that you didn't have when you came here as a pagan from Alberta. There is
Vancouver, please.
Vancouver.
I only worked in Alberta for about 6 months.
Alberta sounds nicer than Vancouver, I think.
You just want to go to the rodeos.
I know this thing. Go far.
Okay,
go
back
north.
to the subject, my dear. That
Yeah.
Excel spreadsheet has some information on it, because in this box,
You tell me.
you have to tick off that there's a protocol to this, as there is with everything.
Go.
These are 2 invitations for ladies who haven't got theirs yet, and of course I shouldn't keep saying ladies. Men are involved in this as well
true,
as
it's true,
audience
it's true,
members.
it's true.
And Sam Hanna in Bestbrook actually helped iron this at Christmas time.
He did, yes.
But yeah, this all has to be checked, double checked, and you can imagine.
So it'll be hung in the long gallery of
long gallery,
Stormont.
yeah,
And you'll be down ahead of the bus getting it all ready, so when people come in, it opens at what time?
It does. It opens at 10:30, but
10:30 until 1:30, is
but
that the way
maybe
it
we
is?
should talk about the more public aspect of this, because on Sunday, and I know something happened in North Carolina this morning.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that before I tell you about Sunday?
9 people dead. A mad shooter went into a church and blasted people.
This is
and
breaking news, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's been appalling. It's the old American white hatred of, well, it's not American, it's not the American way. Let me correct myself immediately. But there is a penchant among some Americans to be very, very hateful towards people of an Afro background, and that's what happened. And it was ongoing throughout the day yesterday. And
Advertise your business here. Reach a weekly audience of 275,000 people. Be ahead of the rest. Call Damien on 078 08 80 34 75 or 028 308 34 012.
we had a terrible internet experience in the last fortnight. A young man, 3 weeks ago, a 17-year-old boy from County Tyrone, Ronan Hughes.
I heard about
He
this.
was blackmailed on the interview by an evil African gang. He was tricked and duped into putting pictures of him, personal pictures, on the internet. And he had the courage to tell his mum and dad.
Yeah.
And they went to the police. And the policeman said, "Oh, yes, we'll deal with that." Well, they didn't do it quickly enough, it seems, and the boy went and killed himself.
And where?
It's awful, awful altogether. So yes, we do need to be very careful in how we use the internet.
Yeah,
and-
it is. It's difficult because even if you're not saying certain things, someone else is getting it somewhere and sharing it.
yeah, yeah.
And yet we have to use these things to get word out about breaking news
Yeah,
stories. The
absolutely,
Irish who
absolutely.
fell from the balcony in Berkeley.
Yeah, that turned out to be a faulty construction. That it wasn't properly sealed, and water got in over the years. Since 2007, the water got in and rotted the woodwork and dumped the whole thing
You
down.
really wonder what has happened to building codes.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
in America, this
Yeah.
is crazy. My father worked in. He's with us since yesterday in the building industry in Canada, and he would know all about codes and things.
Yeah.
But he's also helped me put this together architectonically, and
That's a love. I want you to say that word again. I think it's a love. Are you ready for this word? Are you braced for this word? Architectonically.
Yes, people think that these are just handkerchiefs, but it actually ends up being a construction of walls of sorts, of fabric walls. So I always think about space. My original training is as a sculptor, partly because he was always saying, look at this, look at that, Lycia,
Yeah.
Anyway, they've come from Canada. They're over 80 and they're traveling quite well. And here they are, and here I am to.
Bangor, Northern Ireland was
My
their
father's
origin,
place.
your father's place. You were 3 when you all went to Canada. You settled well there. They settled magnificently, happily there. But they never ever lost their Northern Irish feeling, identity, their accents.
It's hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
Also, they brought a friend who hasn't been in Northern Ireland for 40 years.
40
She was
years.
21 when she came here.
My goodness.
And, that was the time when she said you drove through Ireland, you wouldn't get out of your car as a tourist. But she's happily wandering around Derry today, or London
wonderful?
Derry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, to the Monday thing, it's a special day, Monday. Yeah, it is a special day because your linen memorial is in Stormont in the Long Gallery, and it's also an important day because it's a day of reflection. What's that about?
Yeah. Well, the Day of Reflection is the longest day of the year. It was implemented about 10 years ago for the Healing Through Remembering group. And it's been reported on and analyzed as, is this a correct thing for Northern Ireland to do, to reflect on the conflict once a year? And after 5 years of different reports, they decided, yes, this day was a public day, not just a private day. And so things like this are more likely to happen. And that's why I didn't mind inviting Paul J. Miles to come along and tell his story about civil rights in their country. He's from Detroit. That's where I met him, where I was in sculpture school. And they had their own interurban migration, just like Belfast, because of the difficulties of riots and police.
2 communities at loggerheads. Basically, that's what it happened in Northern Ireland. It happened in Detroit, and it happened right across America,
and other parts of the world.
Yeah.
And I worked in Tasmania, and as Lebanon immigrants, people from Beirut, people.
And they're dying today in their tens of thousands as they try to escape the African continent and cross the 100 or 200 kilometers over to southern Europe, and it's
also
still awfulness.
Did you get that statistic today about the percentages of migrants due to violence?
Yeah.
It's risen incredibly, mainly because of Syria, 2011.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're all, some of us are displaced migrants. I'm not saying I'm. Anyway, I was going to say victim, but I don't want to bring up that word at all. It's
I think in some regards, it's an intellectual discourse can probably prove that we're all victims, whether we're perpetrators or whatever else. I know you're not saying that in the thing, perpetrator or someone who has been murdered by a perpetrator. but we're all formed by the land we come out of in some way.
I suppose that's what it is. You know, I used to be a land artist, and there is jumping from that to the priest, Father Cesare, who's coming from the Dominican with a group from Nuri, one of the groups from Nuri. He's going to talk about suffering. Just briefly, people are talking briefly as a set of speakers. And as you say, whatever side you're on, this land has suffered.
No, I can tell you, when I was at the height of the troubles here, reporting in BBC and RTE, if you'd blindfolded me and taken me onto the Falls Road, the Catholic Falls Road, and then brought me into a home of people there, ordinary folk, and if you'd done the same in the Shankill Road and brought me into the home of the people there and allowed me to listen, one is as the other. They're the same. They're the same importances, the same poverties there. And I was aware of that. So we had people in conflict over ideologies that were not actually putting bread on the table. The poverty was there for both communities.
What do you think of Northern Ireland today? Do you think it's more intercommunal?
It is up to a point. You know, we have the cyclical nonsense of people still wishing to go to conflict, go to war, not war anymore, but people at loggerheads, indifference, because of traditionality. I will walk that way because it's my tradition. You will not walk that way because it's not our tradition. We have SDLP politicians who would always have, Seamus was one of them, Seamus Mallon, he was the deputy leader. Seamus would always refer to the north of Ireland coming through everything because he did not believe that he could recognise Northern Ireland as a political entity. So that was there. Even the Derry-Londonderry thing. If I'm with people, it's this simple. If I know I'm talking to a person who is of a unionist persuasion, I will refer to Londonderry, and I'm not doing myself any damage by doing that. If I'm referring to the Catholic community and talking with them, it'll be Derry.
You mentioned a word to me, and I'm sorry to bring up the more difficult words than even stroke city, as someone referenced it to me in Australia, Tanya Bradley, who's on my pre-recorded names list. You mentioned something about the word atrocities. Only certain groups use that or something? I don't know.
Well, I don't know about that. An atrocity is self-defining, really. If you've got a bomb goes off on the Shankill Road at a fish and chip shop, if you've got an IRA bomb in the middle of Omagh, that's atrocity. There's no doubt about that. If you've got gunmen who go into McGurk's bar or whatever else and they blow it up and they go into the bookie office and shoot people dead, that's atrocity. Ordinary people being tormented and brought down. You ask, are we any better? Where are we going with the troubles? I kind of think we're on a journey but not there. That all the time the claws of awfulness, the claws of our terribleness are pulling us down. And that's a constancy of negativity in our community. There are small spikes of progress through politics, but small they are, and we need to work on them.
I went to a conference once in Tasmania where there's a session that said, all truth is bitter. Would you agree with that?
First of all, I don't know what it means. I think all truth is precious. That's my word.
Okay.
That as it said, I can hold my truth, and I'm non-political. I can hold my truth in my heart, but I can still respect your truth and pay homage to your truth. Namaste. The God in me recognizes the God in you.
Yeah,
and I don't do myself
yoga,
any damage.
Yoga class.
You know.
And what about the word dignity? Donna Hicks has written about the word dignity. You used preciousness. What do you like?
Take dignity for precious. Take precious for dignity, because there is nothing more sacred than the dignity of humanity. And the dignity of the human person made in the likeness of whatever God they worship and cherish and whatever, whether there's a God or not. But there is a dignity inherent in being a human being, because we, as a race, as a species, we've done great things, and therein is attached dignity. And also as a species, we've done terrible things, but we've somehow grown through it. And I just think this is better for having the Lennon Memorial.
Thank you. There's that word resilience, and you talk about God or no God. Helen Madden, a funerary celebrant and TV presenter from that wonderful children's program in the 70s, Romper Room,
Oh, yeah.
will be there at Stormont. Alan McBride from WAVE, and he's on the board of Healing Through Remembering, will be there saying a few words. And yes, a Buddhist nun, I wouldn't say nun, teacher from Belfast. I tried, although this is a one-person show at the moment, so emails and ironing combined, but to invite people from cross-community. And I remember the Community Relations Council who gave me money for a workshop in Belfast in 2007 or 8 when I met you at Corrymeela. So thanks for having me on, and thanks
been
for
good.
ending with those beautiful words.
Well, namaste is that. Those are the words. The God in me respects the God in you. Namaste. Go well. That's the Linen Memorial at the Long Gallery in Stormont on Monday.